Hello and welcome to Command & Conquer Replays. Doing something slightly different today. We have a free-for-all, 8-person free-for-all on a map called Armageddon Mountains. The map was made by Rusov Speed. He's playing, he's colour yellow in this game. And it looks like quite a good map. I haven't played it myself yet. We also are featuring Brown Puddle today, which I'm going to focus on following. There's so many players, it's going to be hard to follow everyone, but I'll maybe focus on Brown Puddle. He's ranked number 5 in the leaderboards. I checked out the other players on the leaderboards, and the only other person I could see ranking was frizbee in pink. That doesn't mean the other players aren't ranked highly. Sometimes it doesn't show for some reason or other. And Brown Puddle just guarding Red's base. We can see frisbee's sending out a battalion of men down towards the creator of the map, Roos. And Brown Puddle gathering a battalion here to side, while he sends another battalion in to take out Red's base. Red lagging behind. Red very little troops at the minute. And no power either. Looks like it might be an early exit. It's probably hard to stay in the game when you're paired beside Brown Puddle, rank number 5. Brown Puddle expanding his base out towards the middle. And light blue attacking dark blue. Construction yard down. That's Daniel versus Kenneth. And looks like Kenneth is first out of the game. And he gives up. And Brown Puddle, looks like Brown Puddle has taken out Roos's construction yard. That's another early exit, although Roos does have a war factory and an ore refinery, so still in the game. Curious if he built a service station, if he can build a new construction yard, but kind of doubtful looking at the buildings he has. Building the flame tower and stuff. Probably wouldn't have time to get out a service station. A nice number of tanks from mAtzTec. And yellow also moving with tanks. Up towards pink, frisbee, who looks relatively untouched. 2 construction yards, 2 war factories, building up to get more ore. Not defending very well. Here comes his light tanks to face off the heavy tanks. While green is also making a move in towards the same area. Frisbee defending well, repairing his construction yard as it's being attacked. 5 tanks. It's unlucky. Unlucky. I thought he might have kept it there. Just a little too slow. Still doing well with 2 war factories. I wonder if he has built a service station again. No construction yard out by Roos, so probably no service station. And green just building troops, defending. It looks like, and no rush to attack. Green 2 ore refineries, 2 war factories, and a lot of power plants down towards the middle. Looks like green is the one built closest to the middle so far, and Brown Puddle with a nice amount of heavy tanks. No Teslas or anything. Not a huge base, but does have 3 war factories and 2 ore refineries. It looks like he may have taken mercy on Red here. PLW Burns, who has had time to recover. Oh, sorry, missing this. Frisbee coming down and taking out Roos, the creator of the map, while also being attacked by Roos. That's the second person out of the game. Is Brian Puddle on the move? No, just moving his tanks about a little gathering. A lot of heavy tanks. No radar dome. No V2s. And we haven't really looked at purple yet. Purple is massing quite a base. 3 construction yards. Not a huge amount of tanks. Sorry, not a huge amount of tanks, but does have 3 ore factories. 4 construction yards now, and that amount of tanks could change very quickly. How's his ore looking? He's gathering a lot of ore. Probably a big contender for winner of this game. If he can prove himself in battle. And a second construction yard coming out by Daniel. And Brown Puddle. No second construction yard as of yet. Which is actually kind of strange to me when I've seen him playing the quick matches. He's quite quick to get a lot of construction yards out on the bigger maps. Maybe he's just playing casually. So here we have Frizbee going in for mAtzTec. What did I miss? He took out an ore refinery there, I think. And the service station is there. That's 4 war factories and 1,500 in the bank by green. Just fighting off Frizbee, but losing some buildings in the meantime, down to 1 ore refinery in quite a poor place at the minute, and no funds. Excuse me. And the turrets coming out. Turrets are cheaper than tanks. They take up some energy, but they can't move obviously. But they are much more efficient for money. I think when you get about 3 of them, they start to do real damage. Anything else happening? Wow. The base that purple has amassed is just massive. The ore trucks are everywhere, starting to be all-consuming. Still don't see a huge number of tanks. Looks like he's been in some battle with Brown Puddle. Brown Puddle, not really seeing the threat there. Can he see? He can't see the tanks here. He can't see the tanks behind the shroud here. But seems like he's not playing up to my high expectations of him. Now with 3 construction yards though. So he has finally got around to building more construction yards, and you can see that he's actually building a base. Or planning to build the base where Roos was. The main battle seems to be between Frizbee and mAtzTec, but the real contenders seem to be Guesty. Haven't heard much from Blue. Blue just building up a base, couple of airstrips, couple of Teslas. Happy enough to just sit and defend and control his own wee section, while Brown Puddle really starting to grip part of the map and contending for space on the map. It's the same, similar to Guesty, and their bases are getting very close now. Very close. It looks like Brown Puddle is purposely building towards Guesty's base, and the clash is about to happen. Teslas against Teslas. Tanks against tanks. Heavy tanks against heavy tanks. Still no V2s. And I didn't see the Air Force. Let's see where it hits. 1 construction yard down. Plenty more where that came from by Brown Puddle. It's hard to follow. There's a group of tanks here sitting doing nothing. Guesty, I guess, has forgot about them. They would be good to go in to attack Brown Puddle's base and flank him. And that is what they're doing. Losing a lot of base, but Guesty does have a lot of base to lose. I think in matches like this, you're best attacking the source of funds. Once the funds dry up, then you can roll over the rest of the base easily. But these tanks by Brown Puddle seem relatively free to destroy what they want. Guesty's base, Guesty's large base, looking much smaller now, and Brown Puddle's base not looking much smaller than it was before the battle. Will he have enough tanks to finish him off? I don't know. And what else is happening? So Blue's finally made a move, decided to stop defending, and has taken out his neighbour Green. That'll maybe free Frisbee up to grow a little. Being the second smallest base apart from Green, who looks like he's the next to go out. I guess that's because Frisbee and mAtzTec have been in their own little battle and unable to develop their bases. Brown Puddle, the favourite, kind of rolling over the second contender here. I guess in these games it's best to always be attacking the strongest, and the strongest can always kind of change. You want to make sure no one kind of gets grows too big, and for that reason really everyone should be attacking Brown Puddle and focusing on Brown Puddle and potentially Daniel as well. You need to take down the biggest players, and Green and Pink fighting amongst themselves really aren't doing each other any favors. But it's hard to know. It's hard to know who is the biggest when you can't see the full map. And it's just a clean-up exercise by Brown Puddle, but Guesty happy enough to defend to the very end, it looks like. Sometimes when it comes down to economics and building bases is one skill, but a second skill is actually using the tanks and the tank battles and multitasking. And once you're in the middle of a tank battle and you're being attacked and you're attacking and you're building your base all at once, it's really the top contenders like Brown Puddle who will shine in them circumstances. So one ore refinery left, and a couple of troops by Guesty, and maybe he'll try to be a thorn in Brown Puddle's side. And Brown Puddle wasting no time to go in for the number 2 contender. I'm curious if Brown Puddle is just making his way around the map now, or if he knew that Daniel was the number 2 contender. Yes, it was. Well, Brown Puddle can't see Pink or Green, so I guess he's just making his way around the map and rolling over anything he sees. Again, that was kind of expected. I thought he was a bit slow on getting his second, third, fourth construction yards out, but he knew what he was doing. Maybe realizing that his forces were a little shy and retreating back. We can see that Daniel is using V2s. I personally use V2s myself, although I'm questioning that now that I'm seeing Brown Puddle not using V2s. Just a couple of battalions of tanks building up, enough to defend. And he did push Daniel's base back somewhat. And but Daniel's still getting a lot of ore. Brown Puddle's money's low. but his number of tanks is high. Green just sticking in, looks like no one's bothering him. Not much to do, no money, no troops. Maybe away from keyboard. Maybe trying to go for second. If Brown Puddle avoids him, maybe Green mAtzTec can come second. Maybe that's his plan. And frizbee getting impatient. Looks like he's gone in for Brown Puddle. No construction yard. I think did Green get that earlier? No, it was Rusty took that out earlier. I forgot about that. No chance to really expand his base then. And amongst these two titans, it doesn't stand much of a chance. Maybe he's thinking about going out with a bang. Look at the amount of ore trucks he's built. I guess it's the only way he can expand is by building lots of ore trucks. And he didn't go for the attack. He waited on the attack to come for him. Let's see how he manages in the tank battle. So not a lot of tanks by Brown Puddle. Brown Puddle not moving his tanks much now, starting to move his tanks as frizbee comes in with rocket men and tanks. I guess perhaps he couldn't build tanks quick enough to use up all his money, so he built some rocket men, or maybe the rocket men are just a hangover from earlier battles. Good to have rocket men as well when some of the players did build an Air Force. And frizbee putting up a good fight, but Brown Puddle's armada is just overwhelming him. If he had still had a construction yard or had have built a service station, things may have been different. Frizbee's quite a good player. As I said, ranked 54th, which isn't bad for worldwide ranking. A lot of these games kind of depend on who you're beside and who happens to attack first. Sometimes people go in for rushes. If your neighbours decide to develop their base, it can give you a chance to grow as well. And a lot of this is just luck, but the fact that Brown Puddle's winning means that it is also skill. And leaving green, no, not leaving green. Oh, leaving green, not leaving green. Two left, and I think the victor is clear. Just while we're watching the final battle here, if you've liked the video, please support the channel. Click the like button. If you want to see more, subscribe. If you have any comments, I appreciate everyone who's supporting the channel. It's a great community we have here. And the support for the channel is just evidence of that. We'll maybe have a look at the stats as well. So blue going in to rush Brown Puddle. Sometimes the best defense is a good offense, but against Brown Puddle I doubt there's much offense or defense at all. Brown Puddle rushing his attack force down to deal with the threat to his base before continuing the attack, it looks like. Which is a sound strategy. Sometimes it makes sense just to try to disable the other person and forget about your base, especially if you're and Daniel looking to expand as well, but Brown Puddle having none of it. Out of curiosity, did Brown Puddle ever build a radar dome? Yeah, he did. But no V2s. V2s are pretty good for defending and attacking. Really, they're good just to plant, and they can be really annoying. They're good for slowly encroaching, I guess. They can outrange Teslas, which I suppose a lot of people already know. If you're careful about moving them in slowly. So as I say, I haven't played this map before, but I look forward to giving it a try. Great map. The map is called Armageddon Mountains, for anyone interested. And at some point, I guess, you don't need to expand your base anymore. And it's good to see that Brown Puddle didn't take too long to attack people. Sometimes people can sit in camp and just build and never scout, never attack, and just play sim builder, as I call it sometimes. Still a nice base, but not much ore left, not much tanks left. A couple of Teslas. I think it's quite an achievement to come second in a game like this with so many good players, and to come first when Brown Puddle is in the mix would be some achievement indeed. But never give up, never surrender. Daniel's fighting to the end with what little he has left. To say, we'll have a look at the stats at the end of the game if anyone's interested, but it's just a mop up at the minute. And we can see Brown Puddle's base getting very close to the top of the map now as well. Still building the very last second. Okay, let's see the stats. If it shows us, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. This time it does. It seems to do it more reliably now that they fixed the server, so maybe that's why it didn't happen all the time. We can see Brown Puddle's resource gallery is over twice as much as second best Daniel. Although I am curious if Guesty had stayed in the game longer, if he had have been further away from Brown Puddle, if he might have got a lot more ore. Units killed. Everything seems to go in order as you would expect. Brown Puddle, then Daniel, then Guesty. Again, I think Guesty maybe played better than Daniel, but he was just positioned closer to the top dog, unfortunately. Frizbee and mAtzTec were Frizbee was disabled quite early by Rusi, who unfortunately went out very early too. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, again, please click the like button. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And if you have any comments, I appreciate them too. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye now.